Hello everybody and welcome to the bundle tasting today where we're going to taste 4 wines in the mixed and red sampler bundles. I'm Jamie Slone of Jamie Slone Wines and this is my beautiful bride.
Hi everybody.
This is Kim and we are super excited that you guys are interested in our wines, right? So maybe you've enjoyed tasting one of them or some of them with a friend and you wanted to explore more. Maybe you're just totally new to us. But yeah, so today what we're thinking about doing is just give you a little background on us, what we're doing, just as if you had walked into the tasting room for a tasting experience. And we'll taste you through the 4 different wines that we're featuring today. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Sounds good?
Sounds great.
So while I tell them a little bit about us, maybe you could get our Sauvignon Blanc.
Yes.
Rocking. Okay, so Jamie Slone Wines. All direct to consumer. We're not in the restaurants. We're not at the bottle shops. We're not distributing across America or locally. We're just exclusively here, direct to the consumer, to you, right out of this tasting room in downtown Santa Barbara in the historic Presidio neighborhood. There's a lot of high-end winery tasting rooms that are in this area. So we're certainly thrilled to be recognized by the Santa Barbara News Press this past year. Their readers chose us the best tasting room and best winery in Santa Barbara. So we got a lot to live up to, don't you think?
Yes.
So we don't own any vineyards. We source our fruit from some of the best vineyards throughout the valley in Santa Barbara County, specifically in Santa Ynez. Mountain ranges run east and west, which means that everything out near the ocean has got that cool maritime influence hitting it first, so think Pinot Noir, Chardonnay. And then as you go inland, you get, you pick up about 1 degree for every mile in terms of temperature, and you get all the way over here to the very eastern side of the Santa Ynez Valley, and that's where you're going to be able to grow those Bordeaux varietals, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Malbec, Petit Verdot, Cabernet Franc, right? Because those are thicker skin grapes. And then the world is our oyster here in Santa Barbara, right? It's a winemaker's paradise because you're making everything in between. So super fun. I think the other thing that's interesting about us is that you and I, we share the same palate.
We do.
Right?
We definitely
Yeah,
do.
we kind of like the same wines.
Typically.
So stylistically for us, I think our wine style is pretty much down the middle. It's not over extracted, elegant. It's quite frankly balanced wines. That means
Always approachable too.
yeah, very approachable, good acidity and fruit balance, and part of that comes in terms of when you pick and yeah, and how you make the wine.
Exactly, and I think all of our wines, they're great food wines, but they're also great wines that you can just drink, have a glass without even having to have food.
Absolutely. Cool. Okay, great. So let's jump in and we're going to profile each wine. We're going to talk a little bit about harvest, the winemaking process. But this is all before we actually taste the wine. We're talking a little bit about food pairings. And we're just going to try to, showcase each one of these wines. Why don't we start out with our 2018 Sauvignon Blanc. I'll get up next to the camera here and see if I can give you a nice, good look at that. Beautiful straw-colored, light-colored straw Sauvignon Blanc. And recently, Kim and I had the opportunity to go to the Loire Valley.
Yes.
On the very eastern side of the Loire Valley. Where did we go, Kim?
We went to Sancerre.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Did you like it?
Loved it. I love the Sancerre.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about more Sancerre style Sauvignon Blanc.
So Sancerre style Sauvignon Blanc's just going to be a lot softer than, say, a New Zealand style. Those are going to be more like grassy, grapefruity, whereas Sancerre is just softer. It just has more mellow notes, a little bit more of...
A little more elegant, a little more toned down. So the reason we're bringing that up is because this 2018 Sauvignon Blanc we tried to make here from fruit in Happy Canyon of Santa Barbara. in a little bit more Sancerre style.
Yes.
And we've got a great reception on that so far. It was
Yes.
in the wine club shipment recently.
People are loving it.
That's right. So, aged 12 months in neutral French oak. And, when we fermented it, we used a little special yeast to tone down the herbaceousness of the Sauvignon Blanc grape because it's inherently very herbaceous. So we fermented it in stainless steel, and when that was finished, we put it into neutral barrels to continue to let it soften. I think that it's important to note that when you're doing that fermentation process, you're trying to retain fruit. So a nice cold fermenter stainless steel tank is important to be able to retain some of that fruit. The alcohol on this wine is low 13s, so it was about 13.3%, I think, which means that we picked it in the mid 23s, low 23s, actually low 23s for bricks. That's the density of the sugar in the grapes. So it's called and it's measured in bricks. Yeah. So why don't we give this wine a little twirl and see what we think?
I've been smelling it. It smells so pretty. It's got this really pretty like honeysuckle on the nose. Also, I get honeydew with like lemon. You know when you squeeze a lemon over a wedge of honeydew?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's got that whole combination, right, of that experience that you're having.
That's so pretty. Reminds me of, I get like a lemon meringue pie on here because I'm getting that meringue, that marshmallowy-ness with the lemon.
Yeah.
Do you taste that?
I do. You're really good with all those flavor profiles and aromas. Women have like better sensory.
We're just better at everything.
Oh, stop it.
Women are better at everything.
Oh, stop it. Okay, sometimes, yes.
I'm also getting an herbal note that I can't quite figure out. It's almost like maybe it's tea.
Oh, really? Yeah. You've had that before a little bit in some of those Sauvignon Blancs that we've been making.
Maybe like a green tea.
Yeah. Vogelzang Vineyard in Happy Canyon is where we sourced the fruit to be able to make this Sauvignon Blanc. It's out in the, like I said, in the far eastern side of the valley. A wonderful place that a lot of different great winemakers source their fruit from Vogelzang. So, this is our 2018 Sauvignon Blanc. Let's talk about food pairings.
Well, any kind of food that has like herbal seasoning, like chicken with like rosemary.
Yeah,
rosemary chicken would be really
herb
nice.
seasoning is a key component to that, right?
Definitely. And then of course you're going to want something lighter too, like fish,
right?
chicken.
Yep.
Asian food would be really nice with this as well.
Well, you're a cheesemonger, right?
I do love cheese.
You're a cheesemonger. Tell them a little bit about maybe like some goat cheese.
Goat cheese would be great with this, except that I don't care for goat cheese. But if you do like goat cheese, it would be great with
Money. Especially that special cheese over in France that goes with those Sancerre style.
Yeah, I'm just not a goat cheese
Sauvignon,
person,
yeah.
but I know a lot of people are. So goat cheese would be really nice with this. But I would pair this for myself with like a salty cheese, like Parmesan or
Probably
Gruyere.
Maybe how about would you do a aged cheddar?
A cheddar would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of that salty pop in there.
Ooh, an aged Gouda.
There you
Aged
go.
Gouda would
There
be
you
really
go.
great.
I
Got those
like
little
it.
like crystalline like proteins.
Well, there you go. That's our 2018 Sauvignon Blanc. Let's check out the Pinot Noir. Time to go for a lighter red in style wine. Kim, if you want to open this for a second, I'll give them some info regarding Pinot Noir in Santa Barbara County. Many of you may know or may not that Santa Barbara is very well known for world-class Pinot Noir. Out here in the ocean, near the ocean, is the American viticultural area called Santa Rita Hills. And it's really much cooler on the far western edge of that than it is on the eastern edge, but it's all over a very cool area, a great place to grow Pinot Noir. This whole valley is basically, what do you want to say, ancient marine bed soils. So all of that just, creates this stuff called diatomaceous earth, and it just makes for some really amazing fruit, whether it's just Pinot Noir or otherwise. One of the things I wanted to say about this Pinot is that, that's the one grape that thin-skinned really becomes representative of where it's grown, the soil. And specifically, you can, add to that with the fact that there are these different types of Pinot Noir grapes called clones, right? So they do different things. I like to think of apples in the grocery store, where a red delicious apple has a lot of backbone and structure to it, if you will. If you take a Fuji or a Pink Lady, something like that, they're much more aromatic. And
Granny Smith.
Granny Smith and fruity. This particular Pinot Noir, our 2017 from Santa Rita Hills, has several different clones in it, okay? Some fruity clones like 667, 777, 115, a lot of body to those. But the majority of that fruit came from La Encantada, which was the Pomard 4 clone, which is more like a red delicious apple, and the 667 clone, which I told you was fruity. More aromatic.
Yes.
But here's the key. It's the soil that's driving a lot of that, and that's why you'll find that this is a lighter in body,
low tannin.
low tannins, very approachable, and it is a wine that has a little bit of that peppery finish to it, okay? So some peppery notes, and that's coming from that La Encantada vineyard. We ready to do a little pouring?
Yep.
This is a left-handed pour, by the way. Not bad.
That's pretty good.
I'll do it one more time. Yeah, you can see how much that is a little bit lighter in color. Can I borrow this for a quick second? I want to do this right here. Well, hopefully that's going to show up, right? That's what I'm trying to do, is see if that will show up. Give you some of that. I want to just say it's got some, to me, it's got that brick red color. And let's talk a little bit about...
I get ruby.
You get ruby?
I get ruby.
Okay.
Or garnet.
Garnet? Yeah?
Yeah.
La Encantada Vineyard and Kessler Hawk Vineyard. La Encantada was originally Richard Sanford of Sanford Winery, his vineyard originally. Now 3 gentlemen own it that are friends that grew up in Wisconsin. And it's over here off of Santa Rosa Road. Got some hillside slopes to it, a little bit different, more condensed soil, north-facing slopes, and a little bit cooler, okay? Kessler Hawk, up here in Santa Rita Hills, up off of 246 southwest-facing slopes. A portion of that is actually kind of flat. So the 2 different combinations produce a much more complex Pinot Noir. So one of our things about making Pinot is that we like to be able to bring about the diversity of the area, soil types and clones, and we think it just makes for an excellent Pinot Noir. So we aged it for 16 months in neutral French oak and a little bit of in 2-year barrels. It's got about 14.4% alcohol. We only made 139 cases of this Pinot Noir. So you're definitely talking about handcrafted, special, individual wines.
I think all of our wines are that way.
Yeah. Sells for $49. It's around $41 for the club. We fermented it in open top fermenters, 1-ton fermenters, in a very cold winery, which of course when you do that, it allows for a a long, cool, low extraction maceration of the fruit. Helps to retain some of that. And then we punched it down a few times each day, which means that we take the floating grapes, the must, the cap, and shove it down into the liquid below, which helps to bring about getting a hold of the tannins for structure and the flavors and all that good stuff to be able to really make it an amazingly awesome wine.
Awesome wine.
Okay, so tell them a little bit about what you're smelling, what you're tasting.
I'm smelling cherry for sure. I'm smelling also, and we talked about this the other day, I get like red Jolly Rancher.
Mm-hmm.
I'm smelling a little bit of that, just a hint of that red peppercorn, but not a lot, just a little.
I'm so drinking this bottle of wine with you afterwards tonight. I'm loving it.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Okay, so I'm tasting like tartar red fruit. I'm tasting cranberry, I'm tasting like tart cherry, but I'm also getting that really nice red peppercorn finish. It's really good. And there's always like, whenever I describe a pepper in a wine, there's differences. There's black pepper, like in our Grenache. There's white pepper that we get in, I think it's maybe the Super Tuscan. And then this is definitely red pepper.
We're gonna have to go home. That's our next experiment, right?
Peppers?
Yeah, I want to know. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper?
They all have their different,
Jamie Slone wine.
different flavors, definitely.
Okay. All right. So texturally, lighter in body Pinot. Great complexity to this. Very representative of Santa Rita Hills. Smooth, low tannins, great long peppery finish. Food-wise.
Well, the nice thing about Pinot is that it's a very versatile wine. It can go with so many different types of food. You can have it with meat, you can have it with chicken, you can have it with pork. It goes great with, say, grilled salmon. It would be great with...
You know, Joe Glancy loves it with duck. He's a duck king. Duck goose.
Yes,
yeah, he
duck
loves duck.
would be great
So for
with
those
it.
of you
It's
into
a
that.
great Thanksgiving.
Seared ahi tuna, if you didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
I think of seared
Yeah,
ahi
seared
tuna.
ahi tuna.
I think of salmon that's got a little bit of that lachardness to it, you know, for the little pepperiness to it, a little smokiness. Definitely.
Or blackened.
Blackened. Oh my gosh, that sounds
That
good.
would be great.
Well, this is our 2017 Pinot Noir from Santa Rita Hills. Hope you enjoy it. All right.
Cheers.
Up next, let's talk about a Malbec-driven wine. Want to?
We need to pour less in these glasses.
Yeah. We're gonna have good buzz when
Also,
it's done.
some Gruyere cheese would be great with this as well. Saint Andre, that triple cream brie would be really nice.
It would be. So while we're enjoying the rest of this Pinot, let's talk a little bit about the Apex Red Blend that we make. Our 2016 Apex Red Blend is Malbec driven. And just yesterday was Mundo Malbec, Malbec Mundo, however you pronounce that. It was World Malbec Day. And we wanted a Malbec, right? We wanted to have a Malbec wine, but we just didn't want it to be 100% Malbec. So we kind of calmed it down with some Merlot, put some backbone and structure of Cabernet Sauvignon in there, and a little bit of Cab Franc. So it's 44% Malbec, 22% Merlot, 22% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 12% Cabernet Franc. Now, Apex, if you don't know, happens to be, because I raced cars, the inside of the turn where you want to get the car to. It's the sweet spot, right? It's that place that you want to keep your momentum up through the turn, get back to the throttle and get the heck out of there and get down that, back stretch or wherever you're running, front stretch, back stretch, out of that turn, and get away from the next guy and catch the one that might be in front of you. So we think that this is the representation of the sweet spot of the Apex with this blend. So with all of our big reds that we're sourcing fruit from, Apex we happen to get from the Vogelzang vineyard for a lot of that fruit. And we treat all of those different Bordeaux varietals pretty much the same in the fact that we like to ferment them in open top fermenters, long, cool, low extraction periods to retain fruit. And we also like to age our bigger red wines in barrel for a couple of years. Then it's spent about another year in the bottle. This particular wine is just over 14% in alcohol. How many cases of this did we make? Not a lot, only 105. Not a lot. So it's got a little bit of new French oak on it, but mostly neutral. And Kim, by the way, retails only for $39, great value, which is roughly around $32, $33 for club members. Kim, tell them what you're getting on this wine.
I will when you pour some in my glass.
I know. Well, you know it by heart by now, darling.
Okay, you got to stop at the big
Did I pour too much?
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Just get a good solid pull.
You want me to tell you about notes? Okay.
Yeah, I want you to tell me what you're smelling.
So, what I get here is, does anybody have like a grandpa that used to smoke a pipe? I had a father that smoked a pipe, and this reminds me of pipe tobacco. That sweet pipe tobacco smell, which I love. Reminds me of my dad. It's got this really like nice floral nose. I'm also getting, it's really weird. Right now I'm getting like a little bit of a plantain for some reason.
You know,
that's bizarre.
I'm going to tell you something. We cheated with this wine. This is a wine that we opened yesterday, and I'm thinking it's just getting better with age.
That's why it was like so interesting. I just got this interesting, like almost like a plantain, like. That's really.
We actually opened this wine yesterday, and a little secret on maintaining wine from one day to the next. Think of a rose. And that rose, when it's nice and cool, is closed down and it's not near as aromatic and it's just kind of conserving itself. But when you take that out of the refrigerator, hint, hint, put the wine in the refrigerator overnight, and it continues to warm up, that rose really starts to bring about its aromatics and it becomes alive, right? And then that's when the aging process happens. So, by putting the cork in the bottle, putting it in the refrigerator at a cold temperature, red or whites,
doesn't matter.
You're shutting that rose down overnight. Okay. You also, if you wanted to take a little bit of argon gas and spray it in there, yes, we sell those sort of things. Put the cork in it. It will displace the air, and it will even make it last another day or so.
Yes, that argon gas it blankets the wine, so the air can't get to it.
Yeah. So anyway, I think this thing is drinking amazing.
It
was great yesterday, but it's really great today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you open it, you drink a little bit of it, and then you wait till the next day.
I'm getting also some blue fruit on
Speaking of blue, let's do that. Let's do food pairings, because I'm telling you right now, this is all about a blue cheeseburger. Okay? Blue cheese burger, game on. How about a lettuce wedge at the steakhouse, if you will, right? That you might be getting with the blue cheese crumbles.
And the bacon.
And the bacon. Oh, the bacon. Look at you.
That's good right now.
Yeah,
that
making
really
bacon.
Right now.
Anyway, so Apex 2016 Malbec driven. Great with steaks, blue cheeseburgers.
Roasted pork.
Roasted pork, very nice. Very nice. Who was talking about roasted pork the other day? Was our wine club member? Was Eric Bowers?
Eric, yeah.
Eric Bowers. Bowers, if you're watching, buddy, this is you. All right, 2016 Apex. Let's finish up with our flagship wine, the 2016 Borific. So,
I'm going to have to get new glasses for this because we can't just polish this down.
You're going to go get another glass?
I'm going to go get another glass.
All right. I'm gonna just
I'll be
use
right
this
back.
glass. I only need this glass. All right, so let me tell you about the Borific. The Borific is the nickname that I gave my wife. That's right, when we lived in Atlanta, Georgia, her name is Kim, got to become Kimbo. Then it was Kimbo-rific, and finally just Bo-rific. So that's what I call her. Hey, Bo-rific, right? It's mostly Merlot, a lot of Cabernet Franc, very representative of a right bank Bordeaux style blend. You want to give it an open for us? Keep us moving. And here's how we made it. It was the first wine we ever made back in 2011. And we knew that we wanted a fair amount of Merlot in there to just keep things smooth, right? As we were tasting through the barrels, we were like so excited. We were making wine, the whole deal, and we were like, oh my God, we got a Merlot in here.
The Merlot was so velvety.
And then that Cabernet Franc that we had tasted individually back then was just so aromatic and just enticing when you smelled it. I'm like, oh my gosh, we got to have this in here because you want to be able to taste the wine that you can smell that's so awesome. And that's just kind of how we got to it. And then we said, well, we definitely need some backbone and structure. I don't think we were using the words at that time, but
so that's when we added the cab.
We had the cab, and then we popped it a little bit with Malbec and Petit Verdot. So this is a blend that has percentage-wise, I want to say it's like 60,
it's
18.
62% Merlot, 18% Cabernet Franc, 17% Cabernet Sauvignon, 2% Malbec, and 1% Petit Verdot. So all 5 of the red noble grapes of Bordeaux.
Exactly. From Vogelsang Vineyard in the Happy Canyon of Santa Barbara on the far eastern edge of the Santa Ynez Valley, where it's warming up to ripen those thick-skinned grapes. Picked it, a cab out there hangs on the vine for a long time, Merlot, etc. So you're not taking this stuff until the backside, actually, of harvest. So you're talking late October. We've even pulled some stuff really at the 1st of November. Alcohol-wise, this is
14.5?
14.5 and only 97 cases. Just drinks fabulous. We get rave reviews on this wine. Doing the same things to it that we did to the others that are the big reds. 24 months in barrel. Maybe 1/3 new French oak, 2/3 not. A year in the bottle. Low production, same production process for fermentation. Open top fermenter, cool, long, low, nice and cold, and to retain the fruit. So nothing different there. Same process. Let's talk about what it smells like, what it tastes like. Oh, look at that color. Right?
That's really pretty.
Okay.
Show them the bottle.
I'm going to show them the bottle. Well, I showed them the
Oh,
bottle.
you already did?
Yeah, what I'm going to do.
Oh, it's dripping on the back.
All right, now, you see that color? Does that look nice and rich and succulent and luscious? I'm telling you it is. If you haven't figured that out yet, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so we dropped a we dropped a frame. It'll be okay. So a Bordeaux style blend that's got great structure, great complexity with all those different varietals that are in there. What kind of aromas are you getting on this?
I'm getting like black cherry for sure.
A lot of fruit.
A lot of fruit. I'm getting like raspberry. I'm getting.
You get chocolate in here at all?
I'm not. No. So that's funny that you said that. I'm getting like powdered cocoa.
Powdered cocoa.
Powdered cocoa.
Everybody.
It's different when it's powdered.
Powder your cocoa.
Powdered cocoa. It's just got that like, I don't know, when you smell, like if you open up a packet of cocoa powder, whatever, it's
So
there.
I think of rich. I think many times texturally. I think it's rich. I think it's full. I think it's got definite, medium to full-bodied. structure to it. I think it's layered. I think it's got complexity to it. I think it just continues to give, especially as it ages over time. We just popped this bottle, brand new, fresh, ready to go.
Didn't even aerate it or anything.
No,
and it
just
is
game on.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's so smooth on the palate because of all of that Merlot. There's 62% Merlot in there, and that just makes it so velvety. I love it. This is that wine that it's the one that you want to bring to a party, you want to give as a gift because
Winning.
everybody's going to love it.
Absolutely. You know, we make several big red blends, you guys. We make a Super Tuscan Cab in Sangiovese. We make a Right Bank Bordeaux style blend. We make a Malbec driven blend. We make a Cab and Syrah blend called P1. They all are very unique and distinctive in their own respective ways, which is super fun. Very popular with the wine club members. This bottle retails for $49, around $41 for club members. So if you want to join the club, we'd love to have you. Come check it out, right? Join the family. We got a lot of people that are having super great time being a part of our, being our Slone Rangers, right? And after you've been a member for 3 years, what do you become? A member of the
Rolling Slone Wine
Slone Wine Society. They, by the way, recently just received an email about 4 different allocation-only wines available to them first because they've been here the longest. Only about 25 cases each on average between a single vineyard Pinot Noir, a Chardonnay, a sparkling, and then the secret that nobody knows anything about, but we just told them about it, a Cabernet Franc. One of my favorites. But the Borific flagship wine at Jamie Slone Wines. Let's talk about food.
Any red meat. Red meat for sure is going to be awesome with this. I would also say
cheesemonger.
So
cheesemonger.
That's gonna be like an Asiago cheese, probably. Aged Gouda for sure with this one. What else can I think of?
I remember you talking before about Manchego.
Manchego for sure.
Manchego.
Oh, it's so pretty. Such a pretty nose. And it's a delicious.
Mediterranean climate, Mediterranean spices, right? What grows together goes together.
Yeah, Mediterranean spices for sure.
Well, we've gone through 4 wines today. We've talked about our Sauvignon Blanc. We talked about Pinot Noir. We talked about a Malbec driven blend and a Right Bank Bordeaux style blend, mostly Merlot and a lot of Cabernet Franc. 4 wines that we make. We actually make about 15, 16 different wines. We make Chardonnay. We make Grenache Blanc that we've made a few different times. We make an Albarino that's like the cult white wine that we make that everybody's rabid about. You can't find anywhere. We make a rosé, very Provence from France in style, made out of Grenache. So that takes us through white and a rosé and some sparkling. And we make a lot of different reds. We make a couple of different Pinots. One of those was allocated. We make
a Grenache.
Rhone style lighter reds, 2 of them.
Grenache and our GSM, the Lozier.
The Lozier, tell them what's in it.
Grenache, Syrah, and Mondouse. Now, typically a Rhone style blend would have Mourvedre in there, but this last vintage that we made has Mondouse in it.
You know what we're doing right now? We're promoting the other wines that we have. And being in the radio business, formerly it was always about promos.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyway, now, and then we make a lot of red blends that we told you about, bigger red blends. So we've told you about those. Go to our website, jamiesloanwines.com, and check out our offerings. Thanks for tuning in today.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate you, and welcome to the Jamie Slone Wines family. We will see you again
next week.
Next week.
Cheers.